you. You're tuned in to the Skirts Up Show with Samantha and Melissa.
Join our mission to normalize failure, but still uncover the positives at every twist and turn.
Skirts up, but keep your panties on. What's up, Skirts Up Squad? It is Samantha.
And your girl, Melissa.
And we did it right that time.
We did. Oh, that's hilarious. That's so funny because to me, there is no right. And you're like, no, there is a way to do this.
No, Oh, as the conversation has been today, that is so funny. No, I was referring to like the last episode that released, and you like
jumped in, and I said,
and it was
"What's
so
up,
funny.
Skirts Up Squad?"
Okay, so
and it really threw
me for a loop, guys. Well, guys, is that my fail talking about how you were kind of pointing out, but not pointing out that like I felt like my student or the students that I was working with.
It sounds like it's your fail. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Okay.
Because now you have to tell.
Now I have to tell. Okay. So it goes with, I was just explaining to Melissa that I was getting really frustrated with the people that I'm getting partnered with in my RTT classes. So now it's time for me to practice as a therapist. And then in return, I'm their client. And I was getting frustrated because they kept wanting to break up the intake sessions from the like actual therapy session. And like, to me, that doesn't make sense because the flow of the therapy session is going 20 minutes going through like the intake part. And then you go into the hypnosis and the therapy part and all of that. And so a 20-minute thing shouldn't mean that you need a whole different day to do a 20-minute interview.
Yeah.
And so to me, practicing the flow that you're going to do when you're practicing, like actually like being a practitioner, you should do it how you're supposed to do it.
Yeah, like put yourself in the real actual like constraints that you would be in.
And the point is practice. So start timing yourself, making sure that you are hitting the intro within the 20 minutes, you know, like start playing with that and seeing like where you're going. And they're just all like, no. Like sessions will go 3 hours and that's just far too long. So we need to schedule 3 days. One day where we'll both do the intake. So 25 minutes, and then where you're the therapist day, and then where you're the client day. And I'm just like, that. I'm not going to do it that way. I was like, okay, well, when I'm the therapist, I'm going to do it how it should be, where you do the intake and the therapy session all together because flow, and I want to learn and practice the flow.
Yeah.
And Melissa just kind of looked at me because I was like, why are they being so difficult? And I'm like, it's just the flow. It's how it's supposed to go. You do the intake and then you do the session.
That's what we learned.
And Melissa just kind of looks at me and politely doesn't say anything. I go, oh, fuck, I'm the problem. Got it.
But to be fair, I was not at all thinking that you were the problem. I was just laughing inside because I was like, yeah, she just has to have her, the rigid routine. Like, routine. Yeah, this is how it is.
Yeah.
We learned it in class. Why can't they get it? And then I was like, okay, well, maybe just try to bend with them a little bit. But at the same time,
once I explained it to you, you were like, oh no, that they're harming themselves. Like they're not practicing. What
I
they're gonna run
agree
into.
with you. Yeah. But it was just really funny to hear you say it that in such like, you heard it.
Yes. The way I said it and I saw your face, I go, fuck, that's me being me.
Which you are awesome. So never fear.
Yeah, I'm down.
But yeah, so I wouldn't say it's a fail, but it's kind of cool because like you got like, it was you like seeing yourself for a second and being like, wait, and stepping back.
I heard it in your brain.
And being introspective. She heard it in my brain. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Yeah.
But do you have a fail, or were we talking about the trip that you missed?
Oh, so I did share a fail, I think, in a previous episode about how I missed the trip.
Yeah, the last episode.
So I do want to ask you about that, actually. I was just going to say real quick, for me, a fail.
Yeah.
And it's not even a fail. Obviously, they never are truly fails, are they, guys? But for years, because this is funny, though, Sam will understand because she understands it in a different way than me, or maybe the same. But for years, I was told to cover up my body. And I was told, like, you can't dress this way because, one, it's not appropriate. Or then as I got older and started kind of putting on weight, nobody wants to see your body, like, you know, out at the beach or whatnot. Or you shouldn't be wearing tank tops. Your arms are too big, things like that. And so it took me quite a few years, but I would say in my late 20s, I was like, no. I know I don't have a body that I want. I don't have the body that I love, and I'm working on that. But I am going to wear what makes me comfortable.
And you're going to love the body that you do have.
I'm working on that. Thank you. So I wanted to share with you guys. Okay, I haven't worn it out in public yet, but I bought a bikini. Yay! I did.
And you did wear it. There's proof.
There's proof. I wore it in my boudoir photo shoots.
One soul boudoir photography.
Exactly. And so I felt really cute in it, except like there's this roll that I have on my stomach that there's 2 rolls really, but one of them won't be hidden. And I just, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to wear it. I'm going to wear it in public. And
I'm so excited.
I'm going to just kind of try to be like, you know what? Yeah, I don't have a perfect body, but I want to have fun.
Now I expect you to wear it when we're in Mexico.
I will.
Yes.
Yeah. I will. We're going to Mexico together. So
yeah, that's a story for another time because we're still planning, but we're doing it. Mm-hmm. Maybe we'll bring you guys with us, but who wants to bring work to vacation?
We do because we love our people.
Mm. Oh my God. Did that just come out of my mouth? Well, I'm just kidding. I love you guys. I love the podcast.
Like, it is a lot of work though. And
it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, but
we'll probably have some like little clips that we could share.
Yes, absolutely, because we like to share with you guys.
Yeah, but we're not even going to go until next January or something.
Yeah, and there's a whole another fun story to that, but another time. You'll hear about it in the upcoming season. I don't know if you guys noticed, but we have this episode coming out, and then we only have 3 more episodes.
Holy crap.
3 more episodes.
For this season?
For this season. And that's a wrap. The last episode, like August 17th, 14th? Is that what the date is? As I try and look really fast for y'all. Yeah, the last episode of this season is August 14th.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we'll be back about mid-October.
My gosh, we're doing it. We're just rolling through the season.
We are. And season 4 is going to be a breeze.
We're starting to get
hordes of people asking to be on the show.
It's pretty cool.
It is. So there's just so many conversations to have. And I feel like the more of them that we talk to and we start recording, because we have began recording for season 4.
Oh my gosh, you guys, I wish so bad that it was dropping sooner because I can't wait for them to hear who we spoke with today. Like I had chills through the whole conversation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in fact, when we finished that recording, we both looked at each other and we go, we have to do a part 2 to release right after it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
We're hoping she's going to get on board with us.
Yeah. She will. She will. She's pretty cool. Yeah. She's awesome. Anywho. Yes.
So I kind of wanted to ask, because I did miss our girls trip that went downtown Atlanta with you and Courtney.
Yes, you were supposed to be with us. I don't know if you guys remember that I think
that was
the last
fail.
episode, but like 2 episodes ago, I think.
Okay.
You had mentioned
staying up all night and not
that's what it was. Courtney and I and Melissa were going to a strip club.
I'd never been to a strip club in my life.
We hadn't either. But like the Claremont Lounge, if you know like Atlanta, like the Claremont is a staple. It's a landmark.
I had never known this.
Yeah, I don't know why I know that since, strip clubs and naked people, but
well, I don't want to say, but when I looked up the Claremont, it's like not all really even mentioned really about the strip club. It's more like it's an old hotel from like the 1920s or something, and it's like a really weird, charming place.
Basement. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the Claremont is known for its unusual entertainment. So these strippers, the entertainers, they aren't your average image.
Wait, you mean everybody doesn't just go to strip clubs? That's not average? I'm just teasing.
No, they don't look like what you like.
Oh, you're talking about the women themselves.
Yeah. So the entertainers themselves don't
What do they look like?
So you have, all right, just to paint a picture.
Okay.
The most famous entertainer there, her name is Blondie.
Okay.
She is 68 years old.
Oh, awesome.
And she has been at the Claremont Lounge for 47 years. She actually celebrated her 47th year as an entertainer at the Claremont Lounge the day we were there.
Whoa.
And what she is known for is crushing beers with her boobs. I hadn't told you that, did I?
No.
Yes. And so that was like Courtney's like mission. I'm gonna meet Blondie and I'm gonna have a can crushed in her boobs.
What the heck?
And we sure did. She was the first person we ran into.
Is she so strong?
Okay, so what we thought was that she's gonna like lift her boob and like they're gonna be huge boobs and like crush it, you know, like a hammer.
It's more of like a pulling the
it's
shoulders
more-
forward and a pec thing.
Yeah, she's 68 years old, guys. Like, yeah, so it goes in between her boobs and then she just kind of crushes it, like, you know, shoves
Her
the boobs together
with her hands.
Yeah, it wasn't as crazy as like what we thought, but anyways,
It's okay, Blondie. They still liked you.
yes. And so Courtney got this whole kit of papers that Blondie has created, like, you know, stories, life stories,
Really?
like, oh yeah, all this stuff, like this baggie full
And
of
she sells.
well, I mean, because people don't really often ask for a lap dance, and a lap dance is about $20 a dance.
Yeah.
So she does $20 a can crush. And so
Got you.
yeah, you like pay her $20, and so she gives you this little baggie to take home with like information about her, and she kissed the can and signed all the papers and like signed it to Courtney. And
Interesting.
yeah, it was really funny. We had a great time. So none of us had been to a strip club. We got our first lap dance, and it was by Coco at the Claremont Lounge. And let me just tell you, we fell in love with a stripper.
Isn't that like a movie or a song or something?
I'm in love with a stripper. Yeah, we are in love with Coco. She gave us both our first lap
They're
dances.
in love with Coco.
Yes, let me just tell you, Courtney was so in love with Coco.
Poor Courtney. Should we not be dropping her name throughout this whole
Oh
episode?
no, she's very proud of this.
Okay, good.
She's so in love with Coco that she asked Coco what her perfume was, and then spent the whole entire day the next day
Trying to find it.
Like literally went to the mall and was store popping and having people help her.
What is
find.
it?
Dude, I don't remember. And she
must have loved it.
Yeah, I won't out you on how much you spent on it, Courtney. But yes, she loved Coco and was obsessed with Coco so much that she found a designer perfume.
Oh my goodness, Courtney.
Yeah, it was a great time. And then
Next time you're over, Courtney, or next time we see each other, I need a lap dance.
and she has to smell like Coco.
Well, obviously.
Yeah. And so we were there earlier in the night.
Okay.
So before it was like super crowded, and then honestly, by the time it got crowded, we had experienced
What kinds of people were there? Like, did you feel like it was kind of gross people or nice people or just weird, all kinds? Like,
Are you talking about entertainer wise or
no, like
just the crowd?
clients? Yeah, the crowd.
Clients? That would be sex work, Melissa. And
It is sex work.
Is it?
Yeah, they're professionals. They're getting paid.
Wait, but prostitution's illegal.
It's not prostitution. It's sex work.
I'm gonna look up the difference.
Okay.
I will educate myself. What did you ask me? The type
What
of
the,
people
what
there?
the crowd was like.
Okay, so the most interesting person in the crowd that we saw was at the table next to us, because we got there early enough to get a table. There was this old man with a composition book, and he's at the table just writing things on the composition book.
Interesting.
And so Coco's dancing, and we just kind of lean over and we're like, hey, what is the old man doing? Like, what is he writing? And she goes,
you asked her.
yeah, we did, because we were like, is he being like, what is happening? And she goes, oh, he's just a regular. Like, he's
He's just here.
he has like this high profile job, and he comes and sits down to relax, and he just writes notes in his composition book. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, he's a great guy. Like, we all know him. Like, and I was like, oh, okay.
He's very supportive.
So it's creepy from like an outsider's view, but like,
because we're not used to that kind
Yeah,
of lifestyle.
but everyone else, it was like young people. A lot of young people, and that were going there, you know, for the experience, because it's an experience, honestly.
Awesome.
So it was a lot of fun. And once it did start picking up and did start getting crowded, we honestly were like, well, we experienced everything. Like, that was the whole point. And we went back to the hotel room, and we ended up playing like the charades.
Oh, fun.
It was like the charades headband.
Yes.
So like whatever word was on the head,
On
we
your
had to
phone.
act it.
Mhm.
And you know, we had a few drinks, so it was so funny to where Courtney and I decided to play Jessie Murph music, and we were jumping on the bed like you would to Britney Spears.
I don't even know who Jessie Murph is.
I will enlighten you. But we were acting like it was Britney Spears,
Okay.
jumping on our bed like we're like
like you're
eight-year-old
Tom
girls.
Cruise on Oprah's couch.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And then we got so into it that Courtney literally flew off the bed on accident, like jumping, and then missed the bed and flew and fell into a corner.
She's okay. She didn't get
okay.
hurt.
She's okay. But like there was also a grocery bag in the corner, and when she landed on it, it acted like a whoopee cushion.
No, she didn't. It sounded like a fart.
Yes. So it was like she flew off the bed on accident, missed the bed, landed on this plastic bag that ended up sounding like a whoopee cushion. So we're laughing because what just happened.
That is so funny.
And
You're like, I promise it was funny. If you were there, you would have been dying. I bet it was
Oh,
hilarious.
I realized you're not laughing.
I am laughing. I'm laughing inside.
Okay, it was really fucking funny. And
No, it is hilarious.
it was a good time.
But I can see
was
how
a good
being a
time.
little tipsy and with the right
Yes,
people,
yes,
you
yes,
know,
yes.
it's heightened.
Yeah, I wish you were there.
I wished I was there too.
You would have loved it.
I
It
would
was so
have.
fun. So we'll have to experience it again, right?
Guess I'll just have to.
Yeah.
Courtney, I'm sorry that I missed it.
Her falling into the corner and farting like a whoopee cushion.
That is hilarious.
And today we have
She's so smooth.
farting like a whoopee cushion. Today we have a sexologist with us. Is that a smooth transition?
Not at all.
Oh. Okay. Today we have with us a sexologist to talk with us about sex and the benefits of having a female orgasm.
Yeah. Actually, we learned a lot. She was so interesting.
We did learn a lot.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly.
We learn a lot with everybody,
We
but
do.
I don't know why we always act like we're surprised, but we're like, actually.
It was my favorite conversation.
Yeah,
It's
right?
not news anymore. Huh?
No. But you guys will enjoy it. So
Yeah.
take a listen.
Today, I'm so excited to introduce to you Dr. Stephanie Bathurst. Did I say it right?
You did, yes.
Yes, she is a clinical sexologist and a licensed relationship therapist. We have been wanting to talk about sex, and as you've seen throughout the season, we're sprinkling in just how healthy and fun it should be. So this is really exciting to hear from the professional. Stephanie, thank you so much for joining us today. I've been looking forward to this.
Same. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here. I think we're going to have some really good conversation for everybody. So I appreciate you.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you. I think, yes, we are going to be touching on several questions that have been brought up to us through our listeners, you guys. So thank you for sitting in those questions so that we could find someone who can properly answer those for you.
That's right.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the profession of what got you interested in sexology. I feel like that's not super common.
Yeah, so I'm lucky enough to know that I always wanted to work with people, like helping people. And so I knew that I wanted to be a clinician, a therapist for a really long time. I think the more schooling I went through, the more refined my niche became. And naturally, as I really became an expert and specialized in romantic relationships, I felt like there was a huge gap in treatment or just education within the relationship therapy field.
Right.
You can't really do it holistically without attending to sexual intimacy and physical touch. So as I kind of continued forward, I got more training in that. And so right now I'm in Hawaii. I used to have my practice based in Maryland, like in the DC area-ish.
Okay.
And I started becoming pretty well known in that region for just being a sex positive therapist. So a lot of like the polyamorous and kink communities in that area, because there are a lot of barriers to them finding the right fit providers who are able to support them in the unique workable dynamic. They kind of started to gravitate to me. And that's when I decided to get my PhD in clinical sexology. So that was the metamorphosis. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Why do you think people of these different types of relationships were drawn to you? Are you a part of that community yourself, or that may not be an appropriate question? You don't have to answer.
I was thinking maybe you're just open to working with them.
Yeah, I think philosophically, I believe that people are capable of many loves in different ways. Your connection and attachment from one person to the next is entirely unique, and it's not one sum. And so I think philosophically, I align more with like the potential health and success of ethically non-monogamous relationships or non-traditional styles. And I tend to be much more sex positive just in general. So I think just all of those components of who I am as a person and therefore as a provider made people feel more comfortable opening up. And then as they had good experiences, they referred to their communities and it kind of expanded outward.
Sure. Yeah.
Now, I definitely want to get into questions about, so one of our specific questions is around E&M relationships, but I also wanted to ask, How were you raised in a home like where it was okay to talk about sex to where it just helped you feel and able to explore this as a profession, or was that something that you had to just kind of branch out on your own to explore?
Yeah. Or maybe you were like, oh, I never understood the taboo about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely grew up in a home, n not that there was any shame, like overt shame inherent in any of our, like, rituals or conversations, but it just wasn't discussed. It wasn't an open, comfortable
Mhm.
topic of discussion, and so when I was young, a lot of my awareness, my insight came from personal research because I had
Mm.
questions, but I didn't feel super comfortable opening up and asking the people in my immediate like
Oh,
field.
Mhm.
yeah.
And so yeah, I think that's been really valuable for me, like as I moved forward into the professional realm to
Mhm.
make sure that I held space and I normalized conversations and words about sex and physical affection and touch. So at the very least, like we as a public can be a little more comfortable with it. These should be open
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you have, like, a help sheet that you help parents discuss this? Because that's a very awkward conversation to have with your kids and to know when and how and
Can
It
be.
is, yeah. My specialty is more with adults. I did
Gotcha.
specialize with young kids when I was really early in my field. I used to actually be a specialist for young children with advanced sexual like trauma within their
Mm.
family systems in
Mhm.
residential facilities. And so that's really important work.
Yeah,
But I burned out in like 2 years. I was just
I can
emotionally,
imagine.
yeah, I
Right.
was burned.
It's a
Yeah.
lot to have to take on every night or every day.
Well, it is.
Or
It
try to
is.
even brush off at the end of the day.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I would feel like maybe even feel guilty trying not to think about it at night. Like,
Work
wow,
won't
there's just
stop.
so many facets of how
Yeah.
to
Yeah, I
keep
think
yourself.
for sure. For me, it was like, I started to feel my, like, positivity and hopefulness as, like, for the public, for our future as a society start to wane with
Oh,
how much, like, darkness
Yeah.
and you know how they always say, like, truth is always stranger, more, like, severe than fiction, and that certainly is the truth as you, like, go through some of these
Yeah.
police reports and
Mhm.
treatment plans and it was just heavy, heavy shit. And
Yeah.
so,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
that, but there's so much need there. So I've definitely mediated conversations with like adult clients of mine and their adolescent kids as they struggle to have like the sex talk or to be
Mhm.
open and supportive of coming out. You know what I mean? Just kind
Yeah.
of like the identity discovery process that kids go through and helping their parents support them through that.
Oh, that's nice.
Which is helpful in its own way. We had
Yeah.
a guest on that talked about her experience of what it was like for her daughter to come out and be okay with telling her who she is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you talked about the different communities that feel safe and comfortable coming to you to talk about their different types of relationships and how, if I heard you correctly, that philosophically you do believe that there is more than one love for each person. So I want to touch on that and talk about these different types of relationships that honestly I don't think a lot of people even know exist. I know I recently just learned about E&M.
Yeah, I think also a lot of people, even if they know they exist,
Think it's
maybe
weird and
are told like they try not to even think about it, maybe. They don't even think about it because it just doesn't seem
yeah. I've always heard of it as like a negative.
yeah, we don't talk about it in society much.
We don't, but it's very common. We look at the research and by report, so we know that this is drastically underreported because it's a known taboo. By report, 1 in 5, like of all relationships in the US, 1 in 5 will experience some type of ENM within the lifespan of their relationship.
Yeah.
And that's like a significant number. And we know it's probably more like 1 in 3 because of the underreport.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's very common, very, very common. We just don't talk about it, right? It's kind of like and I have a young daughter, so I kind of experienced this firsthand, but it's kind of like the discussions about miscarriage. It's not at all. It's very common. It's very known. It's very impactful to like you and your relationship and your life, but nobody really talks about it openly. And that's a disservice to us,
I
certainly.
agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is
yeah,
there that people need to know?
for E&M.
Yeah, like what
Mhm.
we don't talk about it enough. So like what does the community need to know to what am I
Yeah, I
trying to
mean,
ask?
I'm
I'm
well,
not
so like, so people who don't know anything about it, how would you explain it? I'm wondering, so it's an ethical non-monogamous relationship. What's
Yes.
the ethical part? How do you keep it ethical?
Thank
Because I
you.
think a lot of people have a hard time with that, thinking like
Yes.
it's just going to get messy.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect question. So it's all about openness, transparency, and contracting,
Mm.
right? There has to be very explicit, overt negotiations between all partners. Otherwise, there is the possibility of, secondary, tertiary, outside relationships being experienced and processed as an active infidelity. Just
Mhm.
because you're in an ethically non-monogamous relationship, you can still experience jealousy, envy, feelings of betrayal if you don't do it correctly, right? And that's why I always say that I work with advanced systems. That's my specialty, not necessarily like E&M in particular, but E&M, like any kind of, and that's a huge spectrum to be like, we are opening up to a third party, just staying with the primary dyad ourselves. That's like the one end of the spectrum, all the way to kitchen table poly, where all partners are heavily integrated into relationships with each other. You think of like everybody sitting down at the same table for dinner together, right?
Yeah.
And that's a massive spectrum of different types of relationship lines and dynamics that exist. Whatever you choose with your partner, one, it has to be openly contracted before you take any action. So there
Okay.
needs to be really, really good communication skills for you to do that, and or have like a third party mediator who knows what they're doing to help you ask the right questions. And two, we always talk about like logistics planning. You have to be a good project manager to be in like an advanced systems, because you have so many relational responsibilities, right? And there's a lot that you get back from that. For most people, they're like, oh, it's worth it. It is a lot of effort to talk to all of my partners and give them the energy that they deserve and need for the sustainability of this relationship. But it's just a lot more. It's on an advanced scale. And so you really need to have like good communication and good executive functioning skills to make this sustainable long term.
So I guess I'm kind of curious because I've actually never dabbled in that in any kind of open relationship. I've been curious about it, but sometimes when I think about it, it's literally the thing that you just now said is there's more work. And I'm like, why? Why? But give me some reasons. Like, why is this something that people should look at or look into?
Yeah. When would a couple think, oh, maybe that's for us?
Right.
Yeah, so we're all unique and different in the priorities of values, of intimacy forms. So if we're in a committed partnership with somebody who is usually like different from us, right? Those prioritizations, those scales differ from one person to the next.
Yep.
And you love and you're committed to this person, and also you have this one particular or many particular areas that are not fully fulfilled. And
I love that you said and also and not but, because
yeah,
that just kind of right there, that's everything to me. Like you want to keep the relationship you have and you need more.
exactly. It is an and, right? You're not like saying, okay, well, I guess I'll stay in this relationship because it's more convenient, but it's not working for me, so I'm going to find somebody else to fill these areas. It's
Okay.
more of like we, rather than a subtractive model, right? Like, which would be my partner has their own partner and they're taking energy away from our relationship and giving to this other person. which is oftentimes the mindset that keeps people stuck in this traditional model of relationships.
Yeah.
We want to transition and reframe more toward an additive model of thinking, which would be my partner and we're seeing outside partners for like additional energy, right? Maybe we have caps on how much energy we can fulfill with each other, just with each other. But if we bring these other parties into the mix and they enhance our levels of fulfillment, our joy, our like adventure for life, we bring that energy, that elevated mood back to each other, and we have more energy to recirculate among us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That gives you, just right there already gives you a lot to think about, because so many people are like, oh, like, yeah, you hear a lot of people say, yeah, my husband was a great guy. He, really cared about me. He was a great father, but I needed more or something. And like, then people are like, oh, we'll get a divorce, like find someone who can meet all those things. And there's always that, but how can you ensure that you're going to get it all? And so maybe another way to think about it is, no, I am happy because you're a great husband, great father, like so patient and kind and giving, but
Like you bring these things to the table and then other things are brought
and it can be an option
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No one person will fit all of the boxes. It's
That's
just
a big thing to remember.
Yeah, and for a lot of
Yeah, you're right.
people, it's like for a lot of people in the traditional mindset, which also like I'm very supportive. I work so much with monogamous coupledoms, and that can be done healthily and unhealthily, just like E&M can be done
Yeah.
healthily or unhealthily. For a lot of people in like the monogamous philosophy, they fill those needs with friend groups or with family experiences or with travel groups. You know what I mean? So they just do it in other ways that don't involve romantic relationships. But it's still the same process. Not this one person can't meet 100% of your social, physical, intimate needs.
That makes
And
sense.
so how do we get that elsewhere to feel whole, you know?
So it's yes. Okay. So it's not E&M is more so like if you were missing something particularly sexually that you can't get fulfilled maybe in your marriage. And is that kind of what I'm
But doesn't it-
understanding?
I thought I understood that it didn't have to be sexually either. I don't know. I'm so confused
Oh,
now.
maybe.
Yeah. So think about so polyamory, it's multiple relationships, right?
Okay.
Multiple loves. And that can mean romantic love. It can mean sexual love. So if you're on the farther end of the polyamorous spectrum, there's usually going to be a romantic component to it. Think about like emotional intimacy, psychological intimacy, physical intimacy, but not necessarily sexual. So it can have both of those components, sexual and romantic love. The closer you get to the other end of the spectrum of E&M, which is like we're in a committed monogamous structure, but we want to have threesomes every once in a while, which is bringing it's a very controlled way of opening up where the primary dyad is still protected. That is much more sexually based relationship.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So you can do it in many different ways, depending on what your needs are, what the function is.
Now, just in a traditional relationship, coming to your partner about something sexual that you have a desire to explore or talk about can be scary and really hard. How do you have these conversations with a partner in a safe, unjudgmental way?
Thank you. That's such a good question.
That's a great question. And I think it really depends on the foundation of the relationship and if it's at a stable point for you to even consider and open this conversation up, because it is a very vulnerable. Sometimes for people, it's very scary. There's a lot of like fear, future-oriented fear responses that like activate immediately. And a lot of familial trauma, right? Like if you went through a divorce when you were a kid because one of your parents cheated on the other person, this can be really reactivating of loss and abandonment for people. So not only do we want to make sure that everybody has done their work, like their own personal work to heal and recover from some of those relational traumas, but there should be secure attachment in your relationship. We should never dive into like expanding toward a more complex system if your current dyadic system is unstable. It will never end well. And so we want to evaluate, like, do you feel safe and secure with me? Are we stable? Do we have the 4 S's in our relationship pretty consistently? And if not, that needs to be the first step.
Can we talk about the 4 S's? Because I was just about to ask you, like, you know, we're always supposed to be working on ourselves. When's the work going to be done? It's never going to be done, right? So how do you know that you've done enough work to bring in some of these conversations, like that you're like stable enough? Like,
Well, in my opinion, I also think that there's I think way less couples than we want to admit ever reach a secure relationship. So
yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
wondering if those S's, is that like the security, like she just said, is that one of them?
Yeah. So the 4 S's are safe, seen, soothed, and secure.
Oh,
You can only access security on a stable basis when you have the first 3 that are present consistently. And we're human. There are going to be situational triggers where, like, we feel a moment of regression. We come to our partner, we repair and heal. This is more so in like an everyday kind of baseline. Are you feeling safe emotionally, physically, financially, whatever it is? Are you feeling safe? Are you feeling seen, which is tapping into the emotional and psychological intimacy component? Do you feel like your partner verifies who you feel you deeply are as like a human being? And do they support your emotional health? And then do you feel soothed, which is more about co-regulation, not codependency. So this is different from I'm upset. I need you to regulate my emotions. That is what codependency is, right? Co-regulation is I see that you're upset. I'm going to sit here next to you. Maybe I'll model deep breathing or some acupressure tapping points and be here with you as you go through this stressful experience of regulating.
Ooh,
Do you see how there's like support and love and responsivity there
right?
on a consistent basis. So we need those 3 things in the relationship before you can even evaluate if security has been accessed.
Interesting.
Do you also feel like there is a very low amount of couples that will ever reach a secure relationship?
I do. I think if you have a really effective, like, so as a couples therapist, that's like my jam, right? If I were to be asked what is the most valuable, most critical tool that any couple can learn, like the first thing I want people to learn how to do is to repair. It's to like identify when an injury is happening in the relationship, be able to implement effective diffusive techniques to reduce the tension as it has built, and to know how to come back together and prioritize the bigger picture, which is never, am I right or are you right? But it's always going to be, how can we be happy and feel loved in this life that we share together, right?
Yeah.
So it's whatever activates that bigger picture perspective for you to like deprioritize that power dynamic that's happening right now, because that's not going to bring you what you want and what you need. So having a really effective repair process, even if your attachment is not 100% secure all of the time, if you can do that, you can be healthy in your relationship.
What advice would you give somebody who's going through some struggles in their marriage and maybe they've decided that it should be over? Like, how do you decide it's okay to not repair? Like, what would you say, like, are the things that you need to be looking for? Like
Like what are the core values of like this is repairable or beyond reconcile?
and it's okay to move on.
Yeah, I think it's more about intention for
Okay.
for whatever decisions you're making, right? Like if somebody comes in and they're like, I want to leave my partner and I want to make sure that I make the right decision, right? What I would first do is help break down all of the intricacies to get down to the root core. And sometimes the root core is, but I don't trust them. And so I don't want to continue this relationship because that would require me to step back into vulnerability with them. Right.
Yeah.
Which is more fear-based. That's not a healthy intention for making sound decisions for your life, like global decisions that drastically impact your life.
Right.
We want to help you recognize like what your needs are, the compatibility potential with your partner. We want to heal any active betrayals, and that doesn't necessarily have to include the other person, right? Like you going through the forgiveness process and being able to release past pain is more about you and you deserving a higher quality of life than carrying the weight of these emotional burdens, right? So put that decision on the back burner for a couple of weeks while we help get you recentered and in a sound place when you're making good executive decisions for yourself. Did I answer the question?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. There are a lot of reasons why people are in romantic relationships. And I think in a bit, we'll probably talk about the reasons for sex as well, which there can be many, and which is great. But for both of those things, there are healthy and unhealthy reasons, right? Like staying together because you have children together is not a healthy reason. If that's the core reason why you're remaining committed in this relationship, it will not serve to bring you happiness and fulfillment in that relationship.
Yeah.
You know, there has to be something more core in terms of the attachment. If your attachment is totally severed and you're feeling more apathetic than you are connected, it's hard to regain that back because the repair process is work, right? You have to want in order to put in the work for it to work out.
Yeah.
Right.
Like you said, I do want to move into the reasons for sex, but I have one more question about attachment style. When you have a couple and one person may be secure in their personal attachment style, if the other person in that relationship never reaches a secure attachment style for themselves, will they ever be able to have like a fully healthy, happy relationship?
I was literally thinking that while she was talking.
You guys are so aligned.
We get that a lot.
No, it's a great question. I love systems work because we can like pop out of the in-depth like situational stuff and really look at the bigger picture and how systems work. In relationships, systems will always try to find balance, which is why if we have originally a securely attached partner and a partner who is disorganized, avoidant, anxious. It's a huge spectrum. Those aren't like refined dichotomous categories, right? Like there's a range there.
Yeah.
The system is going to find balance with that partnership by encouraging the secure partner to do the exact opposite of what the insecure partner is doing. So if one person is presenting with more of an avoidant style in this relationship, the system is going to encourage their counterpart to present with more anxious tendencies, which is why we feel like people will come in and be like, oh, we had this moment of betrayal or injury in our relationship and it's just gotten out of hand. Like we have just changed so much how we interact with one another over the last couple of years since that incident. And it gets like worse and worse, right? Like, yeah, exactly. Until we rebalance and stabilize the system. It's going to be a really gross oversimplification, but for people who aren't familiar with attachment styles and the nuances of them, I would say avoidant is more, and everything's based out of anxiety, right?
Yeah.
And self-protection. They're just different manifestations of it. So avoidant is more, I trust myself, but I don't trust other people. And so I'm going to push them away or keep them at bay because that's how I will control the situation. Anxious is more, I trust other people, but I don't trust myself. And so I'm going to cling on to them and assume their identity because I don't trust my own. And then disorganized is a combination of both of those. And it's usually based out of attachment traumas, right?
Yeah.
Like trauma from childhood will breed those like really chaotic, reactive dynamics.
Yeah.
So that was the oversimplification of it.
That's really scary to think that, if if you are a secure person and you do end up marrying and loving someone who's not, how really it's that energy can shift you in a negative way if you let it. That's really scary to think about.
Yeah.
Um,
It was interesting. The thought that kind of came to my mind was because you were talking about the safe, seen, soothed, and secure. And I was thinking, there are times when a partner, I have seen it, where one of the partners may refuse to feel seen or safe or secure. And like everything you do to try to let them know you're seeing them or whatnot is kind of rebuffed, I guess.
avoidant.
Yeah. And so I thought it kind of took me to what Sam had said. It was just, anyway.
Kind of get some of those traits.
Yeah. And I think it's when I do like premarital work with couples, like preparing them for marriage and what that means to them and defining what their expectations are, I always include like the expectation of personal health, personal evolution, right? Because your relationships are always maxed out. They are always capped at the individual counterpart's level of like health, functioning, awareness. So like even if one person is really elevated in their like personal evolution and awareness, if their counterpart is way down here and hasn't done the work, the relationship is going to be capped down at that level, which is really frustrating for some people.
Yeah.
And why it's important to like have those conversations with your partner early on to be like, for the betterment of this relationship and for us to last long term in a happy dynamic, both of us have to put the work in. Both of us have to, find a therapist, find a shaman, do acupuncture, eat healthy, work out, whatever this works for you. It has to be a part of the mix. And if your goal is to have a good relationship.
Yeah. I will say I personally have gone through, I think that drastic in the difference. And then I guess through individual therapy, it's like, whoa, who would have thought the relationship could be like so like more fulfilling and happy and I don't know. I feel like it's hard to get out of that because you do want to be like, oh, I'm not the only one that like has the problem and it wasn't me. But I don't know. There's a lot of ego.
Yes, I would say.
Yeah. I think that's this is always a little unnerving when people hear this, but like the statistics of divorce for licensed marriage and family therapists or like providers whose specialty it is for relationships are higher than the national average, not lower.
Wow.
Right? Because we're in a field where we are forced to constantly like work on our own stuff to be ethical and good providers. Plus you have so many like educational credits you have to do to maintain licensure. But if your partner is not growing at the same rate, it starts to feel more like a parent-child hierarchy. The farther you get away, the more you're aware of their like their wounds, their necessary healing. Sometimes you understand their emotions before they even have been able to
literally.
Yeah.
And that imbalance feels kind of yucky for all parties. It feels more like a parent, which is not sexy.
That's true.
So is moral of the story, like when you're not seeing eye to eye and like just see a therapist, is that like the only resolution really?
I mean, I think if you have really effective repair processes and you know how to drop out of the situational like content and context and into the core emotional need, you can do that on your own, right? it's never about the dishes, ever. It's
No.
never about the dishes. It's about feeling unseen for your contributions in the relationship. It's about feelings of inequality or unfairness. It's about like feeling betrayed. There's always core stuff. If you don't learn how to drop right into that conversation and express your
sense.
needs, then yeah, you're going to need a third party to mediate that conversation. But that's doable. It just requires you to put your ego to the side and step into vulnerability, which is
Yeah.
sometimes the hardest part.
Right.
for people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stephanie, you actually just a few moments ago taught me that there are more than one reason to have sex, and
Yeah.
it's not just to make babies.
100%. Yeah. There's so many. Some are unhealthy, right? Like to placate or appease someone because they're annoying you is not a good reason to have sex. But outside of just like feeding and reinforcing the intimate bond with your partner or procreating, healthy examples of reasons to have sex include to organically improve your hormone production, which means like the more there are studies out there that show you can stave off the onset of menopause if you have sex 2 to 3 times per week.
Oh
versus
no.
Wow.
What if you can't have sex? Do you just masturbate?
Yeah,
Sorry, I'm serious.
Absolutely. It does the same thing. If you're activating those reproductive functions and flooding your body with the sex hormones, your body, you're giving the feedback communication to your body that you're still using and therefore still need these processes.
Oh my
So it's going to
goodness.
keep producing sex hormones for you rather than kill them off.
I didn't know that. That is like
Who would have thought?
I
shocking,
know.
but it makes so much sense. It's like, of course, your body is going to try to keep itself in the state that like if you're saying, hey, like you said, I'm
Lose
using
it or
these
use it.
hormones. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay.
There have also been studies done that for like pain response, pain management. Sorry if you hear chickens in the background. That's just Hawaii.
I love that.
For pain management, there have been really, really effective studies that show sex, like orgasm, is equally as effective at treating migraine pain than traditional like triptans. Which is amazing. So if you're feeling pain, which is interesting because a lot of people come into my office and they're like, I have a lot of fibromyalgia, I have migraines, I have these like stomach cramps. I'm just not, if I'm feeling physically uncomfortable, I don't want to have sex. And I can understand, like, I have a lot of medical conditions as well. I can certainly understand that initial, like, revolting against doing
Yes.
anything physical. But after the sex, after the post orgasm, your pain levels are objectively less than they were
Wow.
beforehand, which is pretty amazing, right? And that's free. That's like no negative side effects from medications. It's just something cool that you can do for your body when your body needs it.
Yeah, so I get migraines a lot, and there was a time like a few months ago, and my husband was like, well, we should have sex because that'll help your headache. And we were laughing like ha ha ha, because usually that's the joke. I have a headache, I don't want to do it, right? But it did.
Really? In my experience, like I feel like it only alleviates it for like 5 minutes and then it's like back.
Right.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
so that's
no, I
normal.
don't know.
Oh.
I'm just saying. Sorry, I don't know why I said right. I was trying to hear you. I wanted you to feel heard.
Thank you. I feel heard and I feel related with.
I'm so sorry. Like, right. But no, for me, it helped.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really depends. Everybody's biochemistry is different. Like however much like phenylethylamine is flooding your system. For some people, it's very little. For other people, it's a lot post
I've
orgasm.
never heard that word, phenylethylamine.
Oh, PEA. You probably heard that. It's in like chocolate. That's why people are chocoholics because it feels addictive.
Okay.
PEA is the sex hormone that's flooded with like novelty. So think of new relationship energy, the honeymoon phase. That's
Yep.
all PEA, right?
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So it really just depends on what hormones are flooding your brain at any given time. And sex can be a huge driver for those floods. But the amount of sex hormones that are released for each of those experiences kind of differs from person to person.
Okay.
At the very least, physical touch, and it doesn't have to be like orgasm dependent necessarily, but physical touch. We're very social creatures. Any kind of physical touch is going to calm the nervous system and help like reduce pain responses. It's just, it has to be done. Like if you have certain pain points, you obviously don't want to be doing like an untrained hard massage on those pain points with your partner. But, be mindful that physical touch in any kind of capacity really does flood your brain with feel-good hormones that counteract whatever negative experiences you're having.
Okay.
Yeah, there's so many reasons, so many really good reasons for sex. For a good percentage, I believe the statistic is 18% from Rosemary Mason's like research on female sexual cycle.
Okay.
15 to 18% of the population, women and like predominantly women. The the psychological desire and the physical, like physiological arousal, those stages are flip-flopped, which means before your brain can tell you that you want and are interested and open to sex, you need to have some level of stimulation to communicate to your brain that you might be interested. So for men, it's reversed. And that was the traditional, like old school cycle, because of course it was based off of like male sexual response cycle.
Right.
Which is always going to be like psychological desire that activates flooding of blood to the reproductive area, which is what physiological arousal is.
Okay.
For women, a lot of times there's a reverse. So there needs to be like some buffer step for you if your partner's reaching out for a bid for connection and is like, "Hey, would you like to connect? I'm missing you," right?
Yeah.
Before saying no, absolutely not, maybe another time, maybe another day, because you don't have that desire, you want a buffer step. So you're not saying yes, right? You're
Okay.
saying, I would be interested in maybe you rubbing my forearm for a couple of minutes while we're sitting on this couch. Or maybe you can like, I don't know, I hear feet rubs a lot. I hear head scratches, like, scalp massages, some level of physical touch to stimulate so that you have the means to evaluate if you're interested or not. Does that make sense?
Wow. Instead of just shutting the other person down.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that a lot because I feel like I'm one of those people that maybe I'm just always flooded down there because I'm like, it's easy for me to say, sure, let's go. But I have had partners who do not have that kind of drive. And it's like, okay, well, wait, don't say no yet. Let's do a little bit of just some touching. Nice, like consensually.
Right.
But I think that's nice. Okay.
Yeah. And for the record, any bid for connection should always be responded to. It doesn't have to be responded to in the exact way that it was requested. But if
Okay.
your partner is reaching out for connection, it's considered an attachment injury if you just say no and then walk away, right? There should always be some level of negotiation for you to be like, I see that you're wanting to connect and I love that you want to connect with me. I am not interested in connecting in that particular way, but what I can offer is this or this. What are you looking for? You know what I mean? Like there has to be a response and engagement back. Otherwise, the energy that they've just contributed for the relationship falls immediately out of your dynamic and can't recirculate back.
That makes sense.
Bids is one of my favorite words. And so my husband and I, we do kind of, we don't call it bidding. We call, oh my God, it just left my head because we haven't had to use it in so long.
Oh.
But we,
That's a good thing, right?
That sounds very cocky, but it was like, for this example, we'll use bids. And it's like for every missed bid, you have 5 chips that you got to put in to repair that. And so that was something that we always remembered. It was the cup. And for every missed, man, maybe it was bid, but that just doesn't sound right to me. But it was, we have a cup. We warn each other like, oh, hey, the cup is like becoming empty. And then it's like, oh, I need to fill that up. And so realizing, oh, we can't miss any more of their requests for whatever it
Attention or whatever,
is.
yeah.
Because we got a 5 to
Interesting.
make up for that one time that we let them down.
Wow. Because I feel like,
You must
I
have
mean, you're
done
right. Like, it takes way more positive memories
Mhm.
than like to overcome a negative memory, right?
Yeah, the ratio is 5 to 1.
Which is what you
For the
did.
average. Yeah, you must have done some Gottman work. You're familiar with
It was
Gottman.
Gottman. Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel ridiculous that I can't remember what word we used. I don't think it was bid, but maybe it was.
It's okay. Spoon.
Yeah.
So that's one everyone uses right now.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, I've never heard of that. Okay.
Spoon theory is awesome. It's from a disability community, right? Like you wake up with a number of spoons every day, and every task requires you to give a certain amount of spoons. But people who have
Oh.
disabilities wake up with less spoons, and so they're more protective of how much energy they give away, because when you're out at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that,
theory. I love it.
that's another like good thing to kind of think about.
Yeah.
Love it. I feel like to finish answering one of our listeners' questions, when we age, sex doesn't become as easy as it was when we were younger. Obviously, we run out of that like natural lubricant. Like, how can a female still enjoy sex as they age and it's just harder to become comfortable with? Does that question make sense?
Yes.
Am I-
And
am asking it wrong?
Well, this particular person who asked us to talk about this, she wanted it to be clear that sex doesn't go like become obsolete after the age of 70 per se.
Mhm.
And so I don't know if she was saying like it gets harder or not. I don't know what
I
she was saying,
feel
but
like
she
generally what you
definitely
hear is that it is harder.
yeah.
But the desire doesn't go away.
Yeah, she just was kind of like, I just want people to know that
There-
we still have sex.
Yes.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. It's weird how that's like because I hear it all the time, right? Like the expectation of, oh, we're too old for that,
You
right?
do?
Mhm.
Okay.
And when you look at like statistics of STIs, STDs in the US, the nursing homes are the highest rated communities because you have unprotected sex in nursing homes. You aren't a reason to protect anymore.
I have
People
heard
still have
this.
sex
Didn't
all
realize
the
it was
time.
true.
I did not know that. That is so
Yeah.
funny.
And so yeah, and again for a reason, right? Like part of the reason, healthy reasons for having sex is having fun. Like connect with your body, learn to have fun or re-experience adventure in a new way. Maybe you can't drive to the beach or to the whatever, but maybe you can have a different type of sex and that's adventurous and stimulating for you. There are so many
is it
reasons.
a myth that sex gets harder, or does it get harder? Or I guess
So
I'm not sure what we're asking.
So it gets more painful if you don't accommodate your aging bodies, right? For
Okay.
women, once you hit like perimenopause into menopause, your lubrication declines and your elasticity declines, which means the vaginal canal gets less elastic, less like spongy and shorter, right?
Okay.
So not only is there more friction if we're not accommodating like secondary lubricant into the mix, but you quite literally don't have enough space to accommodate your partner anymore. And so I think it's a misconception because pain can be very quickly conditioned to sex. If you're experiencing pain and you're just trying to fight through the moment, assuming it's going to get better in the next couple of times, don't fight through pain. That's how we condition this fear response, this aversion to sex very quickly. So I think we just need to we need to talk about the effects of menopause on aging bodies and how you accommodate some of those symptoms so that you can still enjoy and have it be a pleasurable experience.
Yeah.
Now, I'm glad that you mentioned about like how as you age, the elasticity is lower, and so you just don't physically have the space. I time heard that when you're aroused, you only have so much space. And when you're aroused, you get more space. But like, how can I ask this in like a non-vulgar way?
Just ask it.
You're-
Just ask it. You can blame it on me. Melissa said get vulgar.
Okay.
But it shouldn't have to be. We don't have. It's not vulgar.
It's-
We're
it's-
breaking stereotypes.
We are. We will talk about more of this like in another episode, or, I have friends on dating websites or whatever, and I have male friends that are, okay, this is how we'll approach it. I have male friends who are on dating websites, and some of these websites, you'll have girls that are like, oh, I need 8 inches or more to like be satisfied. And it's like, you don't have space for that. Like, I don't understand. Like, do people have different space? Like, it's not like one size fits all. Like, it's just mind-boggling to me. Like, why do some people need that? Who wants their organs being rearranged?
Well, just everyone's different. Because I would imagine girls are also different, since even all guys have different size
I guess.
equipment. I don't know. Tell us. Shed some light.
Okay, so again, everybody's different. During the perimenopause phase, it's for some women, your interest in sexual experience dramatically increases before it dramatically drops in menopause. For some, it's a progressive, gradual decline in interest, but for others, it's a high peak, and then menopause hits, and then it's a drastic drop.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
that can explain some of it, because if you're physiologically aroused, your cavity is expanding beyond the average 4 inches and can accommodate more.
That's why I was so amazed. It was 4 inches. And so it's like, where the hell does 8 go? Like,
for some women, as we age, not only is the elasticity declining, but and this is not just sexual, this is across your whole body. Our sensitivity, our nerve endings are no longer as sensitive. That's why when you have an elder in your family and you're like, how did you get that nasty bruise on your body? What did you do? They're like, oh, I have no idea. I don't know when that happened. I didn't feel a thing. Because your skin, your body becomes desensitized, and that impacts sexual experience as well. So sometimes people are wanting a little bit rougher, a little bit harder, or just a different size because it increases sensation response. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But that's very unique person to person based on how they're responding to the hormone changes. Yeah.
Okay.
I got you. I still think that no matter who you are, your organs are being rearranged. And I just think that's insane.
Maybe that's all they can feel.
There is a thing called a uterine orgasm, right? Where you're coming up, that wall that people feel is getting hit, and you're like, ow, that does not feel good. For some people, after you're in an aroused state, it can't be before, it's going to be painful if you hit it before. But hitting that kind of cap of the cavity is actually activating orgasm, a different kind of orgasm from clitoral or vaginal. It's just a different sensation. So for some women, they enjoy that at the height of arousal, and maybe those are the women who are requesting deeper.
Okay.
I know we had an episode on types of orgasms. I don't remember that being one, but I could just not remember.
Oh, I don't remember. There were more than I knew.
Yeah.
7 or 9.
So interesting.
Yeah. We should do a podcast just on the female. There's a massive stage, a scale for how you activate altered states of consciousness or extended state orgasms for women. It's really
gosh.
cool. Yeah,
What is that? You said it's a scale. Is there a name of it? Is the name of that scale? Or you're just saying?
No, there is. I did not make it. So
I'm just wanting to make sure I remember so we can.
Yeah, coordinate again.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. Let me find it.
You have been fascinating.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I always love talking about this and just educating people. I mean, women in general, because I think we don't talk about what we need to learn about our own bodies enough.
Yeah, I think one of my another thing that would be just amazing on another episode would be like as a parent. So one, if you never grew to be comfortable with sex talks and it took you a long time as an adult to be comfortable with even discussing sexual topics like with your partner, like how can you healthily help
Have
your
those
kids
discussions. Yeah.
with your kids? Yeah. And so like that would be interesting for me is like how as a parent can you help instill like a healthy knowledge? Because as we all say, we don't want our kids to just go learn on the internet or at school.
Yeah.
So there's got to be a healthy balance that, you know, we need to know.
Yeah.
There is, absolutely. Yeah, there's so much that we can talk about. And I think it starts with just normalizing terms and not feeling right. Like kids are sponges. They just absorb whatever we're feeling or projecting
Right.
outward. And so like when parents come and they ask me that, like, how do I teach my kid to not feel shame about sex like I had? And the response is you gotta resolve your shame because your shame is what you're projecting onto them and they're absorbing that. So like your
Yeah.
own work and healing process is healing for them. It's teaching
Oh,
them, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Which is very empowering.
yeah.
That aligns with what
It does.
Walker said.
It's perfect. I just really liked how you said your own work is healing for them. And yeah, I liked it. But yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
I will say, me trying to explain periods to Amelia, I feel like I traumatized her. I was like, I don't know.
God, my sister-in-law said that she told her daughter about it. And she just sat there with wide eyes. And at the end, she goes, "Are you okay?" And she said, "Is anyone ever okay after that?"
Oh my God.
Sounds about right. That's about how it went.
Yeah. I remember being in 6th grade and having the like, you know, we got separated into
Apparently, they don't do that anymore. My kids said that they've never gotten that.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really scary. Yeah.
Yeah.
And my response was like, why did you separate? All the boys and the girls need to know about each other's bodies to be
Agreed.
able to respect and understand and have empathy for the experience of just like
Yeah.
aging and growing and sex. And I don't understand the omission of critical information that our kids need to just understand themselves. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
My initial argument is like, if I have a son, I obviously don't want him to see like a naked female body, but like obviously you're using like cartoon, you know, figures and examples and models of like how the female body changes. And so my argument is immediately like, well, it's inappropriate. Like my son doesn't need to be seeing that. But then at the same time, it's like, then, and plus then there's the side of like, well, boys are just really immature and,
Because we let them be.
we let them be. If we didn't separate them and made them understand like the female body and like this is normal and that it's to be respected and
sexualized.
yes, like that would also solve so many problems.
Agreed.
I remember going we travel a lot. And so we'll go to other countries and they're like, you know, we just went to Japan and there were onsens that were everybody went together, all the kids,
Yeah.
the adults, male, female. It was everybody together naked and nothing was sexualized because it's not a sexual experience, right? And you go to all these other countries that have done the education without sexualizing women in particular. And it dramatically reduces the sexual assault rates in those countries. And I think like keeping our kids from this information creates this like extreme curiosity because it's considered taboo now. And we can just
Yes.
eliminate that unhealthy curiosity by feeding them the information in a very like structured way rather than allowing them to feed information to each other, because past age 7, our kids are most influenced by their friend group, not by us, our parents, not by their like family system. It's the kids that they surround themselves with. You know what I mean? Like we just need to be a little bit more in control of what information they're processing in that respect.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, this has been really exciting. And I always love when we end conversations and we're like, oh my God, but there's so much more to talk about.
Same.
So I am really looking forward to setting up these conversations and learning more that
Yeah.
we should know from earlier.
Yeah, we should. But we're learning. We're trying. We're gonna
I
take
will,
some catch-up.
I'll email both of you the the stage scale and
Thank you.
a couple of the other things that we talked about today. And if you have questions, let me know. If you want to talk about them again, we
Absolutely.
can
That's
schedule
amazing.
another one. Yeah.
Well, I have one quick question. So you're based in Hawaii. Like, are you only taking clients who live in your area?
Good question.
Yes, good question. So I'm licensed in Hawaii, Virginia, Florida, and Maryland.
Okay.
And I take coaching clients across the world.
Okay.
I also do retreats in Hawaii, like couples intimacy retreats.
Oh,
Yeah, they're super fun in Hawaii and in Florida a couple of times throughout the year.
Oh,
So yeah,
wow.
I'm kind of everywhere.
that's
You should
awesome. Where
go.
can we learn about the retreats that are upcoming?
Yeah. So you can head over to my website, which is bathurstfamilytherapy.com. You can see me on Instagram, which is phd.relationship.expert. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of services that we're offering, and the retreats are so
That's
much
awesome.
fun. So check them out. Absolutely.
Oh, yay.
Wow. Yeah.
I will be
Do
checking
you ever
it out.
get, okay, one more. Do you ever get single people going on any of those retreats?
I
Or
have
are they
been
only
wanting
for, yeah.
I've been wanting to do a women's health retreat focused on like body positivity, sexual exploration,
I
but
will be
just for
there.
women. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that in the next year. I'm trying to find the right fit co-host who can help me with that. So I'll let
Okay.
you guys know.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us. It
Yes.
was so good.
It was great. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All
Aloha.
right. Oh, aloha and skirts out.
Did you like the episode that you heard today? Great. Share it with a friend and don't forget to rate and review.